You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the March 14th meeting of the Michigan City Board of Aviation Commissioners. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Order Board of Aviation Commissioners Monthly Meeting, March 14th, 1 p.m. We have members present, T.Y. Okeson, Kirk Hunter, Greg Poulin, myself, Jeff Bartlett, Paul Schaefer from BF&S Consulting, Jessica Ward, Airport Manager, Paul Walsick, AOPA Airport Support Network Volunteer. We do have a quorum. Reading of the minutes. Did everybody get a chance to look at February 8th, 2024 regular meeting minutes?
I move that be accepted as good.
Do I have a second?
A second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Reports, financial, account balances.
Let's see. So account balances for our operating budget, they're looking great at this point. Everybody has our financial report in your folder. We are under our projected budget in all of our account lines. We did purchase a load of Swift fuel, and that came out of the aviation fuel line. So the only thing so far that's going to need a transfer is vacation bonus by the end of the year, which I talked about last month. And it was a pretty light month.
Thank you. That was the fuel sales too?
No, you want
Oh, fuel sales, sorry.
Sure.
Thank you.
Overall, we sold 1,185 gallons of 100 low lead, 288 gallons of Jet A, and 537.5 gallons of Swift fuel in February. Our current fuel prices are $4.99 for self-service avgas, $5.19 for full-service avgas, $4.24 for self and full-service Jet A, and $6.75 for self-service UL 94. The only price that changed was UL 94. It went up 5 cents from our last load that we just got a couple weeks ago.
That's still a pretty good deal for us compared to everybody else.
Yes, we're looking really good.
How much of the UL 94 did we sell?
We sold 537.5 gallons.
Oh, okay.
So we were up 96% over last year in March.
That's great.
I lied, in February.
Earlier spring season, it seemed like.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for flight.
Weather's been great.
Yeah. Okay, current fuel prices, we got that. That completes finances. Airport manager.
So airport pancake breakfast. I did have a meeting with the Michigan City Special Events Director and his assistant last week. The tentative date of our pancake breakfast is July 20th this year. We are looking to do a 3-day event. So on Thursday, July 18th, we're going to have about 16 T-34s flying to the airport, as they did last year on the way to Oshkosh. And they usually come in, they use this room, they figure out, their flight plan and everything like that. They do a flyover at Oshkosh, so they figure that all out here. They're open to people coming in and talking to them, looking at the planes and everything like that. So we're going to have a little event wrapped around that for Thursday. It's going to be like in the afternoon. Then Friday, we figured we'd do something else on Friday, maybe touch a truck event, car, something like that. We'll figure out something to do Friday afternoon, and then Saturday morning will be our pancake breakfast. So it should be really fun. And we're just all, kind of working all the details out for that.
Do we do anything, or if we can, before school is out, make a reminder to the school systems, or maybe on their PA announcements in the morning for junior high, or I have to say all the schools, just a reminder to them. I mean, everybody's got their cell phones down, but maybe we can get more kids to participate, bring their parents or something like that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we always have a really great turnout for the pancake breakfast.
For those who are at this time?
Not really sure. That's where we're still working out that. Terry definitely wants me to reach out to the FOP first, because they're the ones that have done it for years in the past. And if they aren't available to do it, then maybe the fire, get it, because he likes it to be in the city. And then if not, then we would open it up to like Meals on Wheels or, the Veterans Organization, something like that.
Excellent. Drum class.
Yes, I have a contact at Westville High School, and a teacher there is going to be bringing out a class of students here to do a drone class in May. They're going to take a bus from Westville High School. They're going to come here. They're going to do, all the computer drone simulator stuff. When they're done with that, later on in the week, we're going to go out to Westville and take our actual drones, and then they'll be able to get experience flying the drones around, maybe on a weekend or whatever works best for most of the students. So that's really cool. She heard about it from Barker Middle School when they came out and they had their field trip here to do the drone class. So she was excited to bring that program to Westville as well. So it'll probably be maybe second week in May.
That's
So
great.
that's when we're planning on doing it. And then Flight Saga, terminal building used for flight instruction. Thor requested to use the flight instruction room for ground school. It'll be just during our business hours whenever Tom has ground school that he needs to do. It's going to be better to have the students in the terminal building for the class where they have access to the restrooms. The parking lot is right there, so better parking, and it's a quieter area, so they're not drowned out by the airplane noise when they're trying to do it over there in the hangar. And air in the summer is going to be helpful, air conditioning. So we'll be excited to let them get in here and happy to have them use the building. Right now it's just would be during our business hours, just like anybody else would use the building. But if he gets into wanting exclusive access to that room or after hours access or something like that, then we'll have to talk about some sort of like rental agreement or something like that to use the building.
Do you know how many students he has right now?
I'm not sure.
Michigan City Leadership Internship Program.
Yeah, so I have something in your guys' folder for that. It's the leadership program and then the scope of work for here. And yesterday I was down at City Hall for a Michigan City Leadership Internship Fair. It was from 12 to 3. The new government leadership program is a paid summer internship that connects undergraduate and graduate students with municipal work experience. The internship position at the airport is going to be aimed at public relations, marketing, communications major. The intern will help reach out to local restaurants, golf courses, businesses, hotels in the area to establish discounted rates and coupon that for transient pilots and their passengers. They'll post these discounts on the website, social media, and like direct email lists to pilots, create a brochure stating the discounts that are available, and collaborate with myself and the event planners for the city to help plan, market, and promote that proposed 3-day airport event that we're going to have in July. So the scope of work is there if you guys want to look at it. It's going to be a pretty cool position for the airport, and I have it detailed out more in the scope of work.
That's great. I saw a little bit of this online promoted by the city. I think that's fabulous.
It's going to be really great.
Can we have more than one?
Right now, they have 22 total for the whole city, so.
Can we have more than one for the airport, like 2 individuals?
Yeah, maybe in the future, but this year it's just going to be one intern.
How does this get disseminated to?
So we have a new, head of workforce development for the city. Her name's Kayla Ward. And so she's in charge of kind of getting it out and disseminating it, and interns apply to her. It's just like applying to work for the city. So everything will go through her office, and then she will kind of vet all the interns, and then she'll send them to her department that she feels is the best fit for.
And you said her name is Carla Ward?
Kayla Ward, K-I-L-A, yeah, Kayla Ward.
I have a couple of college students, but
Yeah,
That's good.
awesome. Yeah, you can, the applications are online too. They're right online. I can send you a link too for the applications if you want to send it out. Because y'all have college students, really, so. Yeah.
Starting pay is $17 to $19 an hour for those kids.
Not too shabby, is it? I wish I had that.
Yeah.
and you only get 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
It's a 2-year program. The mayor asked for $175,000 to fund it for 2 years.
That's fantastic. And you still have your summer to go hang out with your friends too, it's not like a 40-hour commitment.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It's going to be great.
Thanks, Jessica. Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Airport development?
Yeah, we were able to get all the survey data, the crack quantities measured using the UAS, and so the plans unfortunately are still in development, so I don't have those to flip through the page. But I want to go ahead and get that advertised before you meet again. We won't open the bids before you meet again. We'll review that in your May meeting. But I want to get that done there, and the reason being, it's kind of a funny year. We don't have a full spending authorization for the FAA money this year. We don't have a new reauthorization bill, and we don't have a full appropriations bill. We have an appropriations that basically takes us through May. And so I don't know how they're going to issue grants and things this year, so they haven't actually advertised the actual dates on grants in the Federal Register yet, because I don't think the FAA really knows. But traditionally, the date has been for entitlement-only projects May, like by the end of May. And so I want to continue on with that schedule, just to be sure. And there's a high probability that it won't be funded even in June, but maybe before the end of September, because the end of the fiscal year is September. And I talked to several of the suppliers of the material that we've used, and their pricing has come down a little bit off of the first of the year, and I just think it's a good time to bid it. So I'd like to go ahead and get your permission to put that out, and then we'll take that under advisement in that May meeting for our grant applications. But if you all are okay with that.
I mean, we advertised to receive bids on the runway 220 crack ceiling and surface coating.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you.
Good. And I should have mentioned this so the pricing came back, the pricing dropped enough to where it's not quite enough money to do the entire parallel taxiway, but I'm putting it in as an alternate. And if by chance we get really good pricing, maybe we'll be able to do the taxiway too. So in the safety phasing plan, when it comes out and you guys see it, you'll notice the taxiway is divided into two phases. Like the runway's one phase, and it's a 14-day period. So we'll have to work on that, notify tenants and all that when we figure out when that's going to happen. But then the taxiway is divided into two pieces for a couple of different reasons. You can keep the airport open just by flopping it back and forth, but also if we don't get quite enough to do the whole thing, we might be able to do half of it.
Okay.
So that's,
How many contractors do you think have a chance to bid on this that do this type of work in the area? You know,
there's quite a few contractors that'll do this, but the materials, the P629 surface coat, there's only 3 manufacturers in the entire country that actually make that stuff. So it'll kind of depend on their agreements with the contractors. Like certain people are licensed distributors of a certain product.
Okay.
And so while there's multiple contractors that can do it, we may not see that much variation between them if they're all getting their material from the same
Yeah.
person. So
Is there a way to try to, whatever agreement we put in that they bid for, that we can get, where they guarantee the price? I know normally it's like, what, they'll guarantee a bid for, 60 days or something, but we don't know based on the appropriation from the government when we're gonna get this money, so.
right. So the FAA's maximum bid hold is 120 days.
Okay, it's them, okay.
But the state statute is only 60 days.
Yeah.
And so all that means is you can take a bid, and as long as they're willing to honor it, the bid is good indefinitely.
Okay,
But where you come into a problem is if you go beyond the 60 days and they don't want to honor their bid, then you cannot keep their bid bond. When they bid a project, they have to submit a bond with the project for 5% of the project. And then if you award the project to them and they say, oh, we changed our mind, we can't fulfill the contract, then you keep that 5% and you use that money to re-advertise the project and cover your expenses. If it goes beyond the 60 days, legally you cannot cash the bid bond.
because you don't know you're in a bargain on there.
Right, but that does not mean they can still honor that bid if they're agreeable to the prices, but it's just a negotiation at that point. It's not,
Okay,
they're not contractually obligated to honor the bid.
okay.
Typically, is the revocation of the bond the sole remedy, or are there other legal remedies beyond?
If they don't want to honor the bid,
But
Yeah, typically you just can't go straight for the bond because usually what's happened is they've forgotten something from their bid and they've weighed the financial cost that it's cheaper for them just to relinquish the bond and proceed forward. And if that's the case, you really don't want to do the project anyway. So you go to your second low bidder in that case. That, I've only seen that a couple of times in my entire career. Most of the time they're on the other side. You know, you're out 180 days, and as long as materials haven't substantially changed, they'll be good.
I just remember coming out of COVID, supply and demand. Oh, things were just like skyrocketing,
Yeah.
prices that we had no longer exist.
I think on the materials side, we've seen some leveling off. The labor is still in short supply. So, but this is a Davis-Bacon wage project because of the federal money.
Okay.
So a lot of these companies are seal coating companies and they wouldn't normally pay wage rates. So I don't think that you'll see a huge wage increase because they're already paying over their normal wage for the project. So I don't think their normal wages will exceed Davis-Bacon in the time frame that we're talking about.
Okay, thanks. Next, old business. We don't show anything for old business. New business.
Question on
Go
my
ahead.
business.
Sure.
Did we get that PTO tractor fixed
Yes.
for the snow thrower? Yeah.
We can't check the snow thrower until we get snow next year. But yes, they fixed everything there's to fix. There's nothing else left to fix, so it's gotta work. There's nothing else left.
Was there additional
Everything's been
cost?
done. There was additional cost, but only for supplies. They covered labor and they covered transporting it back and forth.
That's nice.
So we only paid for the parts that went in it, and that was even discounted because I'm a good negotiator.
Nice.
Very good.
I thought they were gonna come out and fix it here.
They were, but then they had a vehicle, like one of their vehicles that they used that broke down, and they'd have to move everything to a different vehicle, and it'd just be easier to pick it up and take it there, and that was fine with me, so. As long as we're not gonna pay for it, you can take whatever you need.
What do you say?
New business, the mowing and harvesting hay agreement for 2024 with Daniel Cabin.
Yes, that is the gentleman that's been doing it. Him and, remember Russell was the other guy that did it? They've been working together on that. They're the ones that just do the mowing on the east side of the runway and, you know, they take the hay out. So he just said he wants to do it again for the next 2 years, and that's great for us because it saves us on diesel, it saves us on labor, it saves us on, you know, tractor repairs and wear and tear.
Did everybody get a chance to see that agreement?
They've already given me their insurance, and it's exactly what we need. That's in the agreement.
There's no other cost to them, is there?
Nope,
No.
that's it.
Same as last year.
Same, exact same as the last 2 years, yeah.
Is there a motion to approve the mowing and harvesting hay agreement? Mr. Kevin,
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item for the agreement is Sky Sports, the 7th operating agreement extension. Everybody get a chance to see that also? Yep.
There's no changes in this either. I talked to Troy, he didn't need any changes. We didn't need any changes. So it's the same thing as the 6th, just changing the 7th and the dates have changed. To kind of, you know, it's, let's see, when is it? It's April 15th. So it's the 14th day of April of 2024 to the 14th day of April 2025.
That's great. Troy, thanks for having your business on the field here. Appreciate it. We enjoy seeing everybody skydive and take use of the airport. Do I have a
I'll
motion
make that motion to approve the Sky Sports.
and a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for renewing that. Next item, claims docket. Amount is $4,865.44. Everybody get a chance to review that? Any questions on that?
I move we accept the claims docket as written.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries for approval. Thank you. Any correspondence? None? Open to public comment. Anybody? Paul, do you have anything?
No, just my ongoing question about the VASI or path, to that path or whatever. And I noticed today actually that while it does say that there is no approach slope guidance on the instrument chart, it says vertical glide slope indicator and descent angle is not coincident. So even in their own documents, one of them says they're acknowledging it exists in one but not in the other. So
Any chance, have you spoken to like AOPA, or is anybody through them, or anybody else that would challenge or see what's going on?
And again, it doesn't really matter. It's just
Yeah, but it would be nice to get everything on the same page.
It'd be nice if it was accurate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a huge deal. So that's it on that. I think this intern thing's an awesome idea too, by the way.
That'll be fun.
Thanks.
So it just needs to be calibrated then, Paul, is that right?
I don't know what the deal is.
Remember, you went and played with that 5 years ago?
It's all, no, they never flight checked it so that it doesn't show up in the clock. But Paul, ironically enough, they actually, this has gotten even worse. They have gone around and realized that there is a whole bunch of stuff in the world they've never flight checked that's been there. So,
It's been crazy.
like,
Cancel with it.
a good example, Elhart's one of our clients, right? And so they have a full iOS, Cat 1, 4 box packages and stuff. We put new packages in 2008. Those were all commissioned and it's in the chart. But they're high intensity runway edgelets. Never were commissioned, those were put in the 90s. We just were replacing them with LED high intensities.
And then the next page.
In the process that we requested for a flight check for the new lights, they realized that the old lights were never flight checked. So they noted
I'll give it to you.
the procedures out until they flight checked the new lights. Now, those lights have been in there for 37 years.
Of course.
I mean, it's a crazy world. I don't know what they're doing. Can you just request a flight check? Can we just start a form and say, hey?
Yeah, you can do that.
Let's get that.
Or should be?
Yes, it all day.
But if it's beyond their regular schedule, it's $10,000.
Yeah. I hate to spend that for that.
It's a King Air out of Lansing, and they, come and fly a lot of circles around the airport.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for checking.
Sorry, thank you.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
yeah. Hi, Scott Mellon, 200 Kenwood Place. I just have some general questions. I don't, this room, I don't want to turn against me, but I've got questions about the Broadway Extension project. Reading this agenda, it sounds like it's been approved. Is this project going forward, or is it still in a planning stage?
No, it's going forward. We're just waiting for our allotment from the state and the federal government. There was a delay because of COVID. They took some of our funding. We were like number 3, or we were kind of next in line, and then South Bend and Indianapolis took over the funding because they have more commercial business, from what I remember, and they were using all that fund that was eaten up. So we got kind of pushed down the list on there.
So if I understand this correctly, it would be an elevated runway, which means 20 would have to be dug underneath us. So do we
It's lowered, yeah.
have NDOT buy-in to do the road work?
Yeah, they're all in, everybody's in agreement.
Are we aware of any elevated runway anywhere else?
No, lots of them.
So,
But not in Indiana.
There's one.
Well, there is one in Indiana now.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were
And
right
then
before
Fort
us.
Lauderdale has one down there. Yeah, they spent a whole year, I don't know how many billions, they took dirt load from trains, or train tracks that run underneath that too, but it's the south runway going in there. 27 left and 10, or yeah, 27 left.
So how do pilots feel about landing on a little, I mean, when you guys are coming down, it looks like a piece of spaghetti you're aiming for.
It's very minor. I mean, you don't,
Really?
yeah.
How wide is that viaduct planning to be then to count the taxiway and the runway, the elevated structure?
About
320 feet?
Oh, no, 500 feet wide.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just for the runway,
Uh-huh.
and then the taxiway is another 125 feet. Now, the FAA prefers that you close the little gap between the taxiway and the runway, but it's not required, and so financially, the way we have it right now is that gap would be there, but I suspect they'll come up with more money to close that gap in the process.
And what is the expected cost of this project?
Well, depends on the year when that.
We started back in 2015, so, we started around 10 million.
That's it.
I know, we started.
It's gotta be at least 20 million.
No, it's more.
At least.
Yeah, it's just a hair.
25, 28.
And what's the expected benefit? We can rent, what, more jets, or can we expect, what are the projections? How much more business are we gonna get? And we must charge landing fees. Is this gonna fund itself? How does this work?
Yeah, it's not even just more jets, it's the jets that they already have operating here in a more safety conscious manner. So right now, for the jets that operate here, they have to operate with restricted fuel and load, and they have to be perfect weather.
Mm-hmm.
So they're already here. It's not like you're gonna drive a whole bunch more. But it's a safety thing. It's like improving a roadway for the current road, traffic on the road. So that's part of it. And then in the process, we did identify some additional aircraft that would probably come if it were here. So
Is this sort of a typical federal 80-20 split on funding, or?
if it goes 100% Fed, which we are exploring other funding opportunities besides just FAA, but if it goes FAA through AIP, it's 95 and 5. So 90% federal, 5% state, 5% local.
And will we have to float a bond for that then to cover it?
Prior to the cost increase, they already front-loaded the local match. So essentially, we have about half of the project's local match already pre-funded. So we would have to come up with another.
Yeah, and it's phased too, so it's not a 1-year project, it's 3-4 years.
And I assume everyone here is in full desire of this or full agreement.
Yeah, because it increases our capacity and allows us to accept, or allows other, like you said, larger aircraft, a Class B instead of a Class C, larger aircraft. They won't land here right now because then they'd have to basically waive their insurance and say, I'm landing on a runway I probably shouldn't land on.
Right.
Overshooting and ending up on.
Which is,
That's only happened once.
there's been a lot more that get down, into the end where they shouldn't be, that don't hit the newspaper.
How long is the usable runway after this? I mean, do
We
we
pay
go,
5,000 feet.
so you can almost land a 737 on there?
Well,
Yeah.
You don't want to.
can land it, just can't take off.
It's like the Hotel California.
That's right.
there's a lot of things you can do in life, doesn't mean you should.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
No other public comments. That concludes the agenda on today's meeting. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make that motion. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, everybody, for participating. That concludes our meeting today.
I thought it'd show you this.